going on, everybody? This is Leo here with Wolfpack TCG. We're going to go ahead and try and get all this.
And I'm Yenworn from Wolfpack TCG as
Oh, my camera! Oh, that's right. Let me change this up real quick.
Yeah, you still haven't set your consonants.
There we go. Sometimes you get used to a couple different things, so let's go ahead and get this edited. I haven't officially gotten to sit down and look at a lot of the setups for this. So, I wanted to go live with this release. We're gonna have a version of this posted and edited on YouTube. So, there has been
A lot of new things announced these last few days, thanks to the Bandai Card Fest over in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and a lot. And that kind of brought me to a lot of questions because this is my first Bandai game. I mean, I dabbled in Digimon for like a day or two.
Actually on my end, because I had the Black War Greymon deck.
Yeah, and then with our friend Eric, you know, he had me play at his house. Now, my biggest thing right now is there's been a lot of talk that Bandai games go through. What was I referring to? Sets, blocks.
We were thinking, sorry. Yes, Bandai goes through a lot of what's called blocks. It can take different forms. In the case of like Digimon, you have a little number in the top that indicates what block we're in. For Dragon Ball Masters, there's a series letter that's on there. For example, UW, so on and so forth.
Okay, so Bandai is not more infamous for doing blocks, right? Now, how does that, at least based on your experience, how does that impact rotations of cards or ban lists?
It doesn't.
Okay.
In most Bandai games, or in any of the Bandai games I played, which would be mainly those two, those block numbers are just to kind of indicate for, like, let's say if we have a reprint.
Okay.
It'll help differentiate between the original version of the card and the reprinted version of the card.
Okay, so as far as, like, me worrying about winging out my wing deck, I don't have to necessarily wholeheartedly worry too much about losing out on the fact that, like, I spent money on alt arts and then they're not going to be usable for the next set, in theory.
Probably not, but again, this is all speculations until Bandai actually comes out with it. If it works like the other games, then it's just, that's a big indicator for those numbers. For example, in Digimon, we didn't really have any block numbers until a certain point in time, right about the time we got our first reprint set. And they had reprinted a card called Lucemon. The only way you could tell the difference between those two Lucemons, realistically, was whether it had the block number or if it didn't have a block number.
Okay. So, that was one of my biggest concerns because as a Wing player, not because it's meta, just because I love Wing Gundam, one of the biggest concerns I had was the fact that the EW, but it and the Double Zeta had a 2 marking on the top right hand corner, which is the only real reveal outside of the card itself that we've seen, and those are the first 2 we've seen. And I think both those were announced for GDO5?
GDO5 and GDO6, because the Double Zeta is supposed to be GDO6. Now here's another idea. What if that's to indicate how many years, or what year it's in? So right now we're in year 1. GDO5 is the anniversary, thus starting year 2.
Oh.
Thus would be the number 2. That's another thought process on it.
Okay, so you're, instead of just it being a block or something, it could be the year that the sets are
Because I didn't realize it was going to be on the GDO5 stuff. Now that you say it's on GDO5, that also makes a lot of sense.
Okay, because GDO5 is the first set for the 1 year anniversary?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is why they're also introducing a bunch of new product for that too, which we can talk about later.
Yeah.
Because there's something cool in that.
Was the starter deck that's coming out in March not part of the anniversary release, or?
No.
Okay.
That is its own. That is what's called Ultimate Deck, and that's gonna be real. I'm looking forward to that.
And is that something Bandai does like for a lot of their products?
I have seen Ultimate Decks in every game that I played.
Okay.
I don't know if they do it for One Piece, but they did do it for Masters several times.
Okay.
And
that's Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they did it for Digimon.
Okay.
So for both of those games, the entire deck was foiled.
Oh,
plus
okay.
textured foils on the SRs.
Where they're like reprints of some of the stuff that you wanted foiled that came out in other
yeah.
things. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And I think we also got a sneak peek that we're gonna if you're able to get your hands on the deck, which I hope we are. We're actually getting official dice with it. We're not
Yes.
gonna have to hunt down the blue dice.
And
Although I like the blue, but
They're such a pretty pink though.
I like them because not only after the Celestial Being that got released, if you've watched Double O, Trans Am normally is oriented by a pink purplish hue. So I thought that was really nice. Or I thought that was a nice little homage, if that's what it was referencing. But we'll kind of see. With the fact that it's coming out in a seed styled theme is what I think was partially revealed.
Well, it is all C.
Okay, I think it's Seed Destiny, which is the second.
Destiny,
Yeah.
yes.
So Destiny Gundam's gonna be interesting. Hopefully they don't shaft that like they did Fourth Form. But I love IBO so much, but I feel like Fourth Form got shafted with that. Has to be damage for suppression, but
That's fair.
moving on. So some of the things that we got to see, honestly, recently with some of the news reveals, I was actually really excited for this, and I'm not a huge blue player, and I know you were talking about this, but that new Gundam card,
Grandpa.
the new Grandpa, the RX-78, where'd it go? Let me pull it up.
I've got it right here.
So it is going to be a 6/4. So cost of 6 with 4 resources, 6 AP, 3 health. So armor is a +2, +1. So that's going to make this a 8/4.
Now, also keeping in mind, I expect this to be fully a glass cannon because it's during link attack. Says if you are attacking an enemy unit, you may return a blue pilot paired with this unit to its owner's hand. Now, mind you, it specifies during link, so you do have to return a blue armor back to your hand that's attached to it.
Yeah.
So what you do with it is you link it, you tap something, you attack with it, you unpair, so you have your armor already again, and you still have 6 HP. You're getting over any base that's currently in the game.
Well, my question. Okay, so on attack, technically, I guess we're gonna have to get some rulings on that because, like, for example, I always imagine this as a suicide unit, like that could run over wing, for example, because you could rest wing and run it over in theory. But on attack, doesn't it keep the? We'd have to double check with either head
because
judge.
it would no longer be paired. You're no longer getting the boost.
Okay, because on attack happens before
Damage calculation.
just like first strike. So I was assuming you would be able to keep the boost, but I guess not. I mean that would have probably made it a little stupidly overpowered.
Oh, 100%. But even then, just the fact that you can reuse your armor up to 4 times, thus essentially giving your deck up to 8 armors, is wild.
That is kind of crazy. I honestly was really excited to see that. A lot of people are already hoping that this card gets an alt art.
Well, it's going to because it's an LR.
Yeah. So we're hoping. Well, the alt art that they're hoping for is with the Zagong style because of the famous scene. If I know you're still kind of a little catching up, kind of fresh on Gundam. So at the end of the initial Gundam series, the RX-78 and Char, who is piloting the Zagong, I think is how it's pronounced, or the Zagok, the head unit, and this unit is missing its head and its arm, and it's just a one-shot. They both just finally destroy each other, and then that's kind of, that.
No, the art on this Grandpa is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that. Now, some of the other takeaways, I was a little annoyed that this is only a -1, so the Industrial 7 base that got announced. I was really liking that up until I saw the -1 AP. I was really hoping for like a -2.
Yeah.
I felt like that would have made it a little bit fairer. Giving some white bases a little bit needed offensive capabilities.
That's fair. I was thinking about how could I run this in potentially Academy, and it's like, but then you're exiling your commands that you need.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. So Academy may or may not have that as a one of. But I was like, if you're gonna sit there and make it at -1 AP, why not bump it up to at least a 6 health or something like that? That was something I was kind of annoyed with. That was Industrial 7 that was announced with the reveal of the Grandpa card. Now,
can we talk about that Xeon really quick?
Let me pull that one up on my end as well. Where is it?
Should be further
So that one caught me by a little bit of surprise because that's a nice little green one. Xeon, pair with Char, obviously, so you're gonna get your fucking high maneuver, which is wild.
Which is then gonna produce you 2 arms.
Yep, and those arm unit tokens, if I recall, are 2-1.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when it's destroyed, it's not really destroyed because then you get a head.
Which is a 3-1. Like, that unit itself is just kind of nutty. So, when paired with a new type pilot, so this is really nice, you get you deploy 2 wired guided arm tokens, which are 2 ones that we just discussed. And they're not rested. Like, most of his units, tokens do come in rested.
Yes.
So, that makes them a threat for turn 2. Secondly, on destroyed, again, does not require a link.
Nope.
You get the head. So you literally get...
Though the head does come in rested.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine.
But it makes sense.
It's still a 3 AP rested unit.
How's this head going to have as much AP as a regular Saku 2?
Because, like, I don't fucking know. It wasn't peanut yet, so... that joke's wasted on you. I think you're still kind of adjusting to that. I had to explain that one.
Hear it.
I was like, it's not painted red, so I don't know.
That's fair.
So...
I was referring to the red one.
Yeah, but I mean, the trade-off to this is it's 6-5, but goddamn,
But
3 fucking
get to that
tokens.
point,
That's wild though. 3 tokens, a 4/3, and then you get 2 2-1s, and then if you destroy it, you get a 3-1. Like,
and I'm fully expecting us to get a new Char at this point too,
I'm
which
hoping,
again we can talk about in a minute.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. Speaking of new and new pilots, the starter decks. So
That's exactly what I was referring to. So we were gonna have 4 new starter decks 11 through 14, and I gotta say they are interesting.
Yup. So let's see, and they posted a kind of like some expectations for it. So for example, starter deck 11 is going to be a Blurple underwater combat deck.
That's led by Char's Zegok, which is why I say we're probably gonna get another Char, either in the flavor of blue or purple.
I will say this, so I've always laughed when that Zegok comes up, because if you watch the original cartoon, the way they animate that Zegok coming like speeding through the mine, it's cringe, but it's funny cringe, because they're trying to give you the impendingness that it is a fast unit, but the way they go about it, it's just, you're like, you laugh. But
and what's cool about this particular deck is when they describe it, it says unit cards that cannot be chosen as a target for an opponent's attack and can attack freely.
yeah, that one caught me off guard.
I'm
Because
wondering if only underwater types can hit it. Because if that's the case,
that would make sense given its nature.
it's gonna be kind of busted. Unless you just ping it off with ping damage, but
Or it's gonna have some form of because like let's use Magic for example. Flying creatures. Again, I'm not well versed in Magic like you might be and some other viewers. Flying creatures can only be blocked by flying creatures or a creature with reach.
that is 100% correct.
And so in this game, we haven't really had anything like that pop up except with the most recent Cyclops deck, where the Cyclops unit that spawns the 2 ad balloons can't be targeted or can't take any damage until the ad balloons are gone.
Yes.
Now,
And it's specifically battle damage.
the interesting about that is, yeah, battle damage. So effect damage applies, but I don't think we have anything that is a flavor text of. No, we do actually. Now that I think about it, the base CB base has a flavor text semi-similar to that. So for the Celestial Beings base, it states that if you have a rested CB unit, level 3 or lower units cannot damage this base except for higher or tokens. Tokens can deal damage even though they're technically a level 0. So I thought that was a really interesting flavor text. Welcome in, Epion. How's it going today?
Speaking of Epion, let's move on to starter deck 12.
Oh man, I am fucking pumped. Okay, so I've been on a very long rant. As a Wing player, I've been hating the fact that I had to play blockers.
So Wing is going to be in every color. You noticed this, right?
Is it? Well,
Yes.
not purple.
No, this starter deck is red-purple.
Oh, it is red purple. Oh my god. And
The
then
Epion's
EW is
red.
white. EW is white. Yeah. And then we have some blue.
Unless they don't give us any wing cards in purple in this.
Yeah, and so let's get on that flavor text real quick. So, close quarters combat deck, which is going to have the red Epion. So we're going to have a blue Epion, we're going to have a red Epion, and this deck is already a red-purple mix-over. So I'm going to be very interested to see how this goes. Now this kind of comes back to where we were talking about. Both these decks feature Char and a unit that we currently have a pilot for, but don't have alternate pilots for. So
Yeah,
we have Zex Marquise as a pilot, and he's blue, but we don't have a Milliardo Peacecraft, which is what he later changes his name to.
You know what I'm... Sorry to go on a side tangent here. You know what I noticed that nobody else did? The 2's also on these, too. They were showing the 2's a lot earlier.
Yeah, I honestly forgot to even look at that, but that makes sense because these are starter decks 11, 12, 13, and 14. So
All
basically,
in September.
these are basically starter decks 1 through 4 for set 2. I think that's what I'm going to call it, a set 2.
Series 2?
Series 2, set 2, something along those lines. We'll eventually settle on a term as a community. But the close quarter ones is nice because it says units with effects that trigger when you deal damage or destroy enemy units with battle damage, and takes control of both the field and shield area. So more than likely that sounds a lot like suppression. And that sounds a whole lot like possible token spawning.
Those are both the suppression colors.
Yep. Could you imagine a red Epion with
I
suppression?
don't know if it's going to be a token spawner because we can actually jump into... That's a good segue into starter deck 13, which is a green-red bit and funnel combat deck. So that one's description says uses bit and funnel token cards to attack enemy units directly. Use those token cards to deliver damage effects in a very red style. So that one looks like it's going to be very token heavy while also focusing on Queebly, which is another unit that we have a pilot for but not a second pilot for.
Yeah, that's fair. Are they actually? I didn't even check.
Yes, the other one is
Queebly-
too.
Are they both the same colors?
That one is green-red.
And then what if Queebly right now is a red as an LR?
Yes.
From GDO2, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
so-
yes.
Yeah, so that's another crossover of a different color with hopefully a
And this
possible
Queebly's
reprint.
actually green.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, because the current one is red.
Red.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
And then starter deck 14 is a white-green heavily armed combat deck. So white-green, you know your two favorite colors there. Units with higher cost and excellent AP.
Let me
and
pause you real quick though. It's not by choice. I want to point that out. The white green is not by choice.
So it's mainly a late game focus deck. So you got the higher cost but higher AP and HP.
Yep.
Units with effects that prevent taking battle damage. And then you have your blocker, your suppression. So we're gonna get suppression in other colors, and then breach, with its big focus being the O, which the O is now gonna be white.
And it's currently a blue Titan card as well.
Yes.
So, I think a lot of people were already going with the blue-white build for Titans, were they not?
So that actually, so that works perfectly for it. Specifically for the O, not even for Titans.
Yeah. I mean, all I know is it's like I'm really happy to see another version of Epion for one. So it means more than likely we're gonna have it at a lower cost. Maybe because Wing Gundam itself is a 6.4 cost. So maybe we'll also have a 6.4 Epion that's not fucking an 8.7 or an 8.8 cost. But I'm really excited to see what this is going to bring. Again, I'm really hoping that this 2 is a set indicator, not a block
Okay.
for bans.
I missed this part. All starter decks can include units from multiple series, so it's not necessarily going to focus on one series or the other. So we might not be getting any purple wing cards.
Possibly. Which, I mean, I'm not necessarily
fine.
against. Because there's always the opportunity for reprints and redos of different effects. Like, so that way instead of giving Wing Breach and the ability to target again, maybe you have the availability for it to just suicide and
Yeah.
be something where it needs to be damaged. I don't know. Something like that. But, you know, I'm just really excited that, you know, some of these cards are going to be coming out. We're getting a different Queebly, we're getting a different O already, we're getting a different Epion. Endless Waltz, obviously, you know, based. If you looked at the art in the background, again, I know you haven't fully caught up on a lot of the designs, but Ultron
Was in the background.
EW version is in the background of that, which is a very big thing because Wu Fei is just he's a talking point for a lot of different reasons, obviously, but him as a pilot and a unit is just always been in a lot of games when they come up very powerful. Like right now, again, if you play Shenlong Ultron, that's blocker hate. If you, which there was I think I brought up the talking point on that. The wording for that now that we have conditional blockers has raised a little bit of concerns, which I'm assuming with blocker and the icon means it
has
is
to have
a yeah.
Not that whether it's conditional or not.
Or has the word on the card.
Yeah, if it was the case of the word being on the card, it would say blocker in its text, as how a lot of other Bandai games would do it.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I was kind of assuming, but I mean, this whole the conditional cards, because I think there's only 3 now. Strike Rogue was the original one of out of the first 2 sets, but
well, it wasn't even really Strike Rogue; it was Kigali.
Oh, that's right, Kigali. When paired, well,
because it pairs to a white unit, it gives it blocker.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things that we have a lot to kind of bring up. Now, one thing I will kind of throw out, I'm a little annoyed that the only thing I think, if I understood it correctly, is if you bought the build sets for IDO and Clan, the assembly kits, they're only coming with tokens.
Tokens and the cards that produce them.
Oh, okay. So it's not necessarily all bad. You're gonna get the card that actually produces.
Ortega's Order. You're gonna get the mobile work.
Oh, okay. So that's not necessarily a total neg. This sucks probably because you're gonna get 1, maybe 2. I would hope 2, but still not a fair trade-off in my opinion. For especially because they were like $70 this time around for pre-order, if I recall right.
Yeah.
Versus the $39.99.
Yeah.
So not the best trade-offs. What else was there?
There's a few more cards that we can talk about before we get into the accessories.
The CV stuff that got announced a couple last week, I think it was. Let me see if I can't.
You're talking about
the Thrawn Dry.
Yeah.
Its pilot.
I was gonna say some more stuff that was announced this week. Especially this really interesting talking point that's a level 4, but it costs 6.
Which one is that? Is
the Rasen Zulu?
The Rasen Zulu.
It's a level 4 that costs 6, so its cost is more than its level.
That's interesting.
But the reason for it is if there are 8 or more Neo Zeon cards in your trash, this card from your hand gets cost -4.
Okay, so it becomes a 4-2. 4-2.
And on deploy, choose one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. If it has repair, deal 3 damage instead.
That's an interesting one. And this is the first card of its kind that has a
cost higher than its level.
Yeah.
That's why I thought this one would be interesting to talk about first.
But 8 or more Zeon cards is
Neo Zeon specific.
Oh yeah, Neo Zeon. I mean, I'm curious.
Doable, but
it's not a matter of if it's not doable or not. So hear me out. 7 was a reasonable number for both Setsuna and the Exia LR.
Well, the Exia. Oh, you sorry.
Yeah, the Trans Am needing 10 kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I mean.
Because you already have 2 cards at state 7. 7 would have been a fair trade-off.
But you have easy ways to mill. I know every time I've played the Trans Am, I've gotten that effect off.
Yeah, I mean, as just wanting to have built it straight CV.
This was straight CV.
Yeah. I believe the new post should be going over the current modified version. I'm gonna keep looking at it. I'm not gonna I may or may not hard ass it again because I really like the way it feels, but the fact that it's just one of those things, it's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I lost to CV on Friday.
Really?
Yeah, little guy was running it, and
are you talking about not Z's, not the
Legends and Loots locals.
Little guy, got it.
Well,
he's phenomenal pilot.
He's been doing really good with his builds. Really good. Shout out to him. Bad with names, but
I know.
we're not gonna say the name anyway. So, but shout out to him and his dad. Really great people, really friendly, really phenomenal. His dad was actually surprised he beat him too, because he beat his dad. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, the little guy he's been piloting really well. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's that. What else is there?
There was some new blue cards and a new purple card in the form of Core Booster 005 and Core Booster 006 being as one card, which is a link for Cellular Law and Salem S. It's a vanilla level 3 2 cost that's got 3 AP and 3 HP.
Okay.
Along with the new pilot that for it, which is the Seeker Law, who is a level 3 1 cost, 1 AP, plus 1 AP, plus 1 HP, and has the effect attack. Choose one of your white based team units and gets plus 1 AP during this turn.
It's sad that he's a character that dies in the series, so.
That's also fair.
But,
And then we're also getting this purple card called Backup. That's a level 3 1 cost. Its burst says choose one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to it. And then for main, choose one of your units. When it deals battle damage to an enemy unit that's level 5 or lower during this turn, destroy that enemy unit.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. I just don't know how it's going to get implemented personally.
I can see it being as you suicide one of your level 2s into something that's big, level 5 or lower.
Fair enough.
For example, well, no, Wing Gundam is a level 6. But let's say Grandpa.
Hell, you can do your Rudias.
Or the Rick Diaz. So what you do is you activate this first. You choose your unit, then you swing with it. That thing's gonna die.
Yeah, so if it dies to anything, that unit that it touches will die.
If it takes damage from any unit that this thing hits.
Yeah.
So you gotta activate that first, obviously, then you do that.
Yeah, so that's like a turn 4 play. Unless you have like 2 1s and stuff like that.
It could be a turn 3 play, depending, but
I mean, it makes Blurple even possibly even more dangerous when you think about it.
and maybe if you're playing the aggro version of it.
I mean, a 2-1 Graze poking at you, and then you get hit with that on turn 3 or 4. You're just like, fuck off.
Then we have, forgive me for pronouncing this probably wrong. It's Al Sanchez AEU Enact Custom Moralia
he's
Development Experiment Type, which is a level 2/2 cost. Deployed, you may pair one pilot card with Ali Al Sanchez in this card's name from your hand.
I'm gonna call him Aliyah Babla.
From this card, in this card name from your hand with this unit. So you essentially get a free link off of just deploying it.
Yeah, and then the pilot itself is a 2-1, and then it says during link on attack, you may choose one enemy pilot, return it to its owner's hand.
What's cool though is because you're pairing it on the deploy. I think you might get over that level 4 requirement too.
No, let's see, 2-2.
Because it's a level 4/1 cost. I don't know if you do or not, but
well, let's really look at that. You may pair one pilot card with in its card name from your hand with this unit. Well, because it's an effect, not a cost requirement.
yeah.
I believe that would get over any form of level requirements, because it's kind of like it's ignoring the traditional summoning conditions because it's an effect. It's the way I see it.
My thought process is we don't really have a lot of cards that do something like that. The only card that I can think of that does something similar would be the Unicorn Destroy mode, but that one also does specify ignoring level requirements.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And that, well, yeah, no, I think it would work that way because, so for example, Destroy mode is the one you're referring to. Also just says destroy a linked Unicorn mode unit, and then you can just summon it.
But it also specifies with ignoring its level requirements.
Yeah. Well, I would assume because it's pilots aren't necessarily the same as units, you're just going to be able to you're going to be able to ignore the summoning cost. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work. Because what's going to go on is this is definitely going to be a rush suicide white unit.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hear me out. That gives Wing the possibility of being aggro finally. Like, instead of running Kiras for your neg 2s and stuff, you could be bouncing back this pilot over and over and over for that unit, and it's a 2/2, and that 2/2 is a 4. Oh, it's a 3/1, but when you link it, becomes a 5/2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of room for it to be played around with, but that is such a unique effect.
We want to talk about Gundam Throne Drag?
I honestly kind of do. And the reason
Sorry,
is,
pronounced it German.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Thrice, Y, and
Zai.
Zai.
Eins, zwei, drei.
Yeah, those are the 3, and then there's going to be the 4th one that comes in way later.
Yep.
Something like that. It gets. they kind of fuse all 3 units into one, is what it was, and technically they're Gundams.
Yeah.
They're from the Celestial Being side, which
Throne
I highly
is really,
recommend watching the scene when the Throne Dry gets brought in. So that pilot chick is psycho, and I mean like 100%. Like she blows up a wedding.
But let's talk about Thrawn really quick. He's really interesting in the fact that once per turn, when this unit is rested by an effect, set it as active. And his pilot, which is Nina Trinity,
Psycho.
she is a +0/+3. Somebody heard somebody talking about, oh, how come our units are never getting any higher than a certain amount of HP? Or
That's a fair
is
trade-off.
never getting any more, or not getting like 3+ HP. Well, here we go. We're getting that 3 HP. Has the effect Activate Main support 2. So you're resting your unit to
Is that just a standard activate
That is a
or
standard
no
activate
link? No. Okay,
not
so
even
it's
once
a
per
pair.
turn. Not even once per turn.
Oh,
So if you really want, let's.
I didn't think about that.
So what happens with that is you're gonna support 2 to units. You're gonna give a unit +2 by tapping your Thrai, and then you're gonna be able to untap it to be able to either attack with it or support to another unit.
Yep. So if you have 2 of those, you can literally do it to each other, watch them unrest each other, and then it becomes, I think, what was the math I said? 6.
Since it's a +2, they would become 5/6s.
5/6s.
If you did it to each other.
That is such a crazy thing if you have 2 of those. What was the cost of Dry again? I think it was like a 3.
Thrai is a level 5/2 cost, while Nina Trinity is level 4/1 cost.
That is going to be such a crazy thought process
But even
because
with-
it's a red unit,
Yeah.
and you don't have to have CB.
And even then, it's a 3 AP, 6 HP. It's already getting around the fact that Armoro can tap.
I mean, think about it this way though. Pair that with like the current red Cubile, or even fucking Kashitra. Like Kashitra's already a stupid high
The only
attack.
problem is if you do it with those guys, then you're not getting effects.
Um,
They're on effects.
there is
They
that.
specify needing certain pilots. Or certain type of pilots. And this is a CV trend.
Well, what I mean is like if you have Dry on field and you already have them linked and paired,
Gotcha.
with whatever you need. Like sometimes people aren't fully getting the Hamon pair, or linked to Cubile.
Yeah.
And they're having to use like Meridia with Cubile, which they still get the poke because it's a new type, but like the fact that you can give it a support 2 is still wild. And then you still have a unit with 3 swing and 6 HP,
Yeah.
and now you can start buffing whatever you want because you can't target itself. Is what it says. It says
Well, yeah, support does specify another unit, and that's
Yeah.
always been how support's been.
Yeah, and I mean either way, like that for Zapdex, honestly, the ones that are playing all these one-ups with support, Zapped is red. That is a possibility of a fucking stupid threat, and you're like, I need to get rid of that support, but
Yeah.
they're not. If they don't swing with it, it's just sitting there, and then if they do swing with it, it's got 6 fucking HP.
Yeah.
Like even Wing is gonna look at that and be like, I'm gonna take 3 back. You're gonna die. Fuck.
Continuing, we've got like 3 more new cards to talk about as well.
Oh yeah.
One of them being G Falcon, which is perfect for you because of your new deck that you're building, which is your Gundam X deck.
I was hoping it was. I was kind of iffy on it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a level 2/2 cost with blocker. The only downside is it's a 3 attack, 1 HP, but it also links with somebody named Palacis, which we don't know what it does yet.
She's the since she just got done actually doing the Gundam X, she's that female pilot that was flying it in at the end.
Yes, but we don't.
But we don't know her effect. Yeah.
Like you might link it and just use it as a pilot, and she might do something kind of crazy with it.
Yeah. Now here's what's funnier. We haven't had double Gundam double X announced.
Nope.
But if you look at the artwork,
You can see it in the background.
yep, and it's stabbing a unit behind it. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, one thing I've been playing around with Gundam X, and I think I was telling you about, is a lot of the cards kind of rotate the expectation of. So Divider wants you to pull anything level 4 or lower out of trash and pay its cost.
Yeah.
Whereas Gundam X, the first version of it, wants you to be able to pull a level 5 or higher from trash into hand. And it's a weird rotate. So the only card we have that technically, and I'll get to the interesting part of this, which is really going to get you thinking about the deck too, is so right now we have one unit that has an on deploy effect for X at least. Doesn't have to be vegan or anything like that for the effect to pop off. GN X-Bit. If it's deployed from trash, you can target a unit and deal 2 damage to it. It is a 3-1 or a 3-2 unit. It is a 4-2 cost. So, it's a throwaway unit. 2 to 3 in the deck, give or take. Now, here's the fun part of what I was saying that's going to get you thinking. X Divider says choose a unit in your trash, not a vulture unit. A unit and pay its cost to deploy. So I can deploy my whites. I can deploy.
Yeah.
In theory, I could technically
Remember that
deploy.
blocker?
Oh, I could. Yeah, but it's all level 4 or lower, so you can't get level 5 or higher, so you can't.
Which is fine, but because it's all your blockers.
Exactly. So like this 3-1 cost. Oh man, close combat it. Okay, cool. Turn 6, you pair it with a purple pilot. That turn, you can bring it back for 2-2. Now you have a 3-1 blocker, and then in theory, if you have your high-end Gundam X on field, all your vulture units get a +2.
Yep.
So, the fact that we're getting a 2-2 blocker though makes me happy because I had to make room for some Lefriths in that deck, and I was like, fuck, it's still like turn 3. You're having to go the whole Rick Diaz, Lefrith, L strikes, and then you can play your offensive. But the problem is your offensive doesn't bring anything to the board.
Yeah.
Your Leopards are cool, but the requirements are stupid.
It's like I learned this already because I played the I tried blue or purple white.
I think I've actually figured out a pretty good ratio though.
Though to be fair, you do have a whole other set to play with.
Yeah, at this time when whereas
When
I think you did
it was
age.
No, this was different. That was different.
Okay.
This was when I played purple white Gundam X.
Okay, yeah.
When I first put it together was when it first came out.
But I mean, I'm really happy that we're getting a 2-2. That is a vulture unit. That makes that deck more viable because, yeah, your low ends are going to close combat it, fatal strike. But as long as you can hit turn 4 or higher without having taken any damage or having some board presence, your Airmaster is a 4-3 blocker with 4-3 in stats.
Yep.
And again, it's not susceptible to any of the close combats. Close combat can hit it. I'm sorry, fatal strike.
Improved technique, but
yeah, but again, that's still 2 damage.
No,
so
improved should be 3.
Is it 3?
Oh no, I think that's when there's 3 of when there's 2 of them in there.
I have to reread the card because that's a card that's been popping up in a lot more decks as well. But I mean, again, it makes you if you're at least able to protect yourself by turn 4 and you have your right hand, you can start establishing board presence.
It's just deal 3 damage to level 4 or lower.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, level 4 or lower, yeah.
And then if there's 2 or more cards with
any
improved
unit.
technique, then you get to choose any unit.
But that's a red card if I recall. So
well, that goes alongside the lines of close combat.
yeah, that's fair. Most of the ping damage, but I mean, I'm just gonna bring it back with X Divider.
That's fair. Then we have a spiritual support, which is a level 4 1-cost blue command that says, main, choose one of your units, it gains repair 2 during your turn, which would work perfectly for cards like the O that requires having another unit with repair in it.
Yep, that's gonna be fucking stupid. Oh my god. Titans have been coming up a lot more, so I'm actually really surprised. I know we're probably gonna get it as like one of the last sneak peeks, but that Awakened Unicorn Destroy mode for the art for set 4 is something else.
And then the final card that was announced, it's a level 5 1-cost green base called a Boa Q, which is a Xeon Stronghold.
Actually, there's 3 more we missed too. We missed the new Curios that was talked about, the Moment of Rest, the Jamal's Gundam X.
Oh yeah.
And then even oh shucks, where was it?
I was talking about within this week. These.
Oh yeah. Ones. Okay, we'll get back to those 3 because there's another one.
So this one says the Boa Q says deploy, add 1 shield to your hand. That's a given. Then it says, while you have a rested Xeon unit in play, this base can't receive battle damage from enemy units that are level 4 or lower. So just like the CB base, except tokens also won't hit it either.
Yeah. So as Discord's trying to load for me because it's being slow as fuck. I don't know if you're just doing.
It must have
any
been
better.
further up because I wasn't seeing it.
Yeah, it's about 2.6 timestamps. So while we're getting back to that, I'll go ahead and cover it. So again, kind of going back to Gundam X support. Jamal's Gundam X. I like it, but I hate it because it's a 3-2 cost, which is nice. It's a 2-1 drop.
Okay, I'm actually just not seeing it.
It may take a bit to load.
Well, no, I'm like loading it, and I'm just not seeing it.
Oh, okay. I'll show you where I'm at in a minute, so that way hopefully you can get it loaded.
Because I'm in January now.
So for Jamal's Gundam X, it says during pair for a Vulture pilot on destroy, if it's your turn, return this unit's paired pilot to its owner's hand. But again, it kind of is a weird one because this is a 3-2 drop, and then most pilots are a 4.
Yeah.
So that one, I'm not against, but I'm not for.
I've got Moment of Rest up.
Yeah, and a lot of people are excited about that artwork. It's just so adorable.
So Moment of Rest is a level 4 1-cost command. That's burst, draw 1.
Hell yeah.
Then main, choose one rested enemy unit that's a level 5 or lower. It won't be set as active during the start phase of your opponent's next turn.
I saw that and I was like, Blurple's gonna have a field day with that too.
And there's also another grandpa we forgot about too.
Oh, was there another?
There's a level 5 3-cost grandpa that says during link this unit gains high maneuver. It's a 4/4 just base stats that links with an armor row.
Let's see, can I find that one?
It's in our Discord.
There it is. I see it. The 5-3-4-4. That artwork is pretty solid though, and it's gonna be a rare, so it's gonna be a hollow.
It's an uncommon.
Oh, is it uncommon?
Yeah, that says uncommon on the top.
Okay, that's a U. I didn't zoom in on it.
But uncommons also, there's some uncommons that get pluses, so it could get a plus.
Yeah, and that Garma's Dop, unfortunately, that one kind of is meh, because on deploy, look at the top card of your deck, return it to the top of your deck, or place it into your trash.
Yeah.
I'm just like, alright, cool. And then for Garma, the pilot, during link, when destroyed, if you have no EX resource, place one EX resource. That's kind of interesting. So, Green now has a different way of ramping for Xeon units, which was in itself. I know a lot of people have already talked about this too, but there's 2 more CB units we haven't really touched. The Red Dynamics.
Here's the curious tail booster.
Yeah, the tail booster is what it is, and then we have the Red Dynamics. I'm kind of pissed that they did that.
The fact that they made it red?
Well, that and its effect is just kind of... I mean, right now I'm thinking it's ass, but again, there's so many different mechanics that you can do with it because what it says is deploy. It's a 5-4 cost, which, again, that's still high because the one with Breach is a 5-3.
Yeah.
And it's a 4-4, but this one's a 5-4-4-4. When you deploy this unit, you may rest this unit. If you do, choose one enemy unit that is level 3 or lower, deal 2 damage to it.
Well, let's see what a new lock on.
That's if we get one, because this is GDO4 still?
Yeah, GDO4 is where we're supposed to be getting reprints.
Of pilots?
Of it. Supposedly, yes.
Supposedly. Yeah, I just, it's so weird.
But that was like the big selling point about GDO4.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Watch it only be like a handful of pilots.
And then we have
like Benager.
And then we have Gundam Curios Tail Booster, level 5-4 cost. It is green at least.
Yeah.
That says deploy, choose one of your units paired with a super soldier pilot. During this turn, it may choose an active enemy unit that is level 4 or lower as its attack target.
I wasn't a big fan of that, and the reason for that is we already have 2 cards in CB that allow us to do that. We have the command, Bridge Crew, if I recall, is the title of it. It allows you to have one of your units choose an active enemy unit.
Yep.
Lock On, it does a phenomenal job of saying fuck anything my level or high or lower. So it wasn't. It just is solidifying Curios as a suicide unit.
Yeah. And I think that's every new card.
I think so. I mean, we have a lot of the resources. We have new sleeves and being designed, which I pray they print enough of these or make more accessible than what they did the first wave of stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting a new mat design for CB, so that was really interesting to see. What else was there?
So they also confirmed some other alt arts for the assembly box.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so for the IVL one, we're also getting an alt art for Fourth Form.
Fourth form? Okay.
And McGillis's Schwab Craze. While in the other one, we're getting Red Gundam and G-Plex. The LR ones. Plus, the MAV Tactics and the level 4 G-Fred.
Yeah. And I do apologize if we're coming in extremely low. I've got to review the mic settings for when we do these kind of reviews, so that way it picks up both of us, or eventually look into a different mic setup.
But as Leo was saying, they did also announce that we were getting some new accessories. The first two designs on the sleeves that they showed, one's a Soletta, while the other one is Gigi.
We already know a lot of people. We already have a list of people that want the Soletta ones.
Then we don't know the art for the deck box, but it's going to come with 2 promo cards, which I'm going to assume, just like the other one, it's going to be an EX base and an EX resource. So
Awesome. Yeah,
good
more
luck.
likely.
Hopefully we can get those. Cross our fingers.
Right.
Plus a divider. And then we're also getting a 00 playmat with a promo card, which if it's like the other one, it'll probably also be an EX resource.
And it's going to be a command. Wait, what was it an EX resource?
It was, yes, the Soletta one was an EX resource.
Oh, okay.
That's
right.
still going for like $200.
Yeah. Stupid scalpers. I know that we have the Hathaway EX base that we're probably going to have to participate in stupid events that we can't join.
They also did announce that their regionals are going to be in 2 seasons per year. And they're got it set as regionals and then store championships.
I'm just saying though, like my biggest frustration is like, so they released the IBO EX base in Japan for the movies, but they didn't do it for anywhere else for the movies.
Yeah.
So now then they flip it around where, like, mind you, some of these events have already passed for other people, so you have to go participate in side events in order to get this EX base.
Yeah. Kind of dumb.
Yeah, and like I'm not against using like Etsy style themed EX bases at this point, because there are some that are eventually I'm gonna find that it does look good. Don't get me wrong, but that's the frustrating part. Why am I gonna have to go fight scalper prices on TCG or eBay, or try to plan like a $200-300 trip to go to one of these events to be able to get an EX base?
I completely understand that.
Like, that is so disappointing. Outside of the fact that there, certain products haven't been available, those are the 2 things that I've been disappointed with when it comes to this card game, is product availability for the earlier stuff, full well knowing they're short printing it. There's a huge supply and demand, and they're just not meeting the supply on purpose because they're trying to save everything either for the Gundam bases or these regional events, which they have.
They're not even really regional events. They're the Bandai Card Fest.
Yeah, sorry.
Hopefully we start going away from the Bandai Card Fest and do regular regionals again, is what I'm hoping starting with this next season.
Is that something that they technically do with like Digimon and
Yes.
Masters and stuff like that?
Yes, they don't typically do it as a card fest. They'll do like a couple of regionals in one location. For example, a Digimon and a One Piece regionals, and then they would have local vendors there, not like Bandai vendors.
Well, I mean, at least with Bandai vendors, we're getting MSRP. The downside to that is
I want to get away from the Bandai vendors and make this product just available.
no, and that's what I could agree with, so long as it's for MSRP. Because again, one of the things that we've been struggling with is
I don't think we've been struggling with it, but most people
no. I
struggle.
mean, we've come across it though, so we're not going to name any stores because again, we don't want to deter people from going to the locals and things like that. And I mean, hell, even on the Facebook groups, we've seen people. This I think started at 6 is the Iron Bloom, right?
Started at 5. Sorry. Started at 6 was planned.
There we go. Well, I mean, even for Clan, but Iron Bloom had the highest selling price that I have seen at a lot of at some other third-party locals. I think the highest I saw it selling for was $70. I think me and you both saw that.
I don't know. Starter Deck 1 was selling at 80 for some places.
I mean, so, and I don't mean to defend it, but that makes sense. But for a deck that just got released,
Yes, okay, I can see that.
that's where I'm looking at. Like, we already knew 1 through 4, and 1 through 4 is still a fucking hard find.
And like I said,
For
we're
a reasonable
really,
price.
and we're really blessed because we have several locals around us that'll actually sell at MSRP.
Or damn near close to it. Like, it's been, yeah, no, we've been really blessed, and I've been really, really thankful to our locals. Shout out to them for, really trying to do their best, because I know when it comes to buying from a vendor, and I've heard the horror stories, either the fact that they won't sell because certain products aren't getting bought, or their promises of certain allocations don't get met for whatever reason, whether it be what was it? Not TikTok. What is that platform people sell on? Whatnot streamers or anything like that. So it's disgusting, but we've been really blessed. The community's been phenomenal, in my opinion. We haven't had anybody like balls to the wall like, oh, this card is X price, I'm sitting at that. Normally, like, even when we move any cards within our group, we try to at least move it at either, depending on the price.
I always base mine off of lowest verified.
Yeah, lowest verified, and then if it is a high price card, we try to do 70 to 80% of what it is.
Or if it's been bought out, we'll also look at cheapest last sold.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, I've really loved the community. Shout out to all of you who do like, share, and subscribe, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, or if you're following me on TikTok for the pack openings for that nonsense. Trying to share that love because again, some products are just so hard to find. But yeah, I mean, we've covered a lot, and there's still a lot of other roadmaps that were announced earlier this year that we haven't talked about.
And honestly, the stuff is still happening. More stuff could be announced later on.
Oh yeah, so I mean, so what? Vegas ends on.
It ends tonight.
It ends tonight. Because I thought I saw something on the 25th through the 26th going on, as well.
I haven't seen anything like that. I don't know what you were looking at that said that.
I don't know. There's just so much information. It's a lot. It's really a lot to sift through. I think in GDO 5 is when we're getting G Gundam 2. Is that not right as well?
Oh, the thing you were looking at. I see what you're talking about. You're seeing this. That's 2025, 2026.
Oh, okay.
That was the live stream for what's happening right now.
I'm special. don't ignore me. Yeah, G Gundam is also coming.
Can't wait for that. I'm a hype. Like, GDO 5 is going to be a phenomenal set.
I'm waiting for the sneak peeks because I mean, like, some of these reveals have already been phenomenal.
And that's all the way in July.
Oh, actually, did we even touch bases on this release?
Which one?
These are the championship packs.
We're
Never
not
mind.
talking about
These are just all tarts of
pre-existing cards. We don't need to talk about those.
Well, actually, no. Yeah, that's the second form.
Yeah.
Gundam Hajirobe second form alternate art is pretty solid, actually.
Those are all GDO 3 or lower. I already looked.
That Soma Piers alt art though is not worth it. The Machu one's kind of cool, I guess, at best.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all don't forget to again, like, share, subscribe. If that wasn't already commented at the beginning of the video, which I don't think it is, but our editor should wind up going ahead and putting that on there anyways. If you guys are new, don't forget to check us out on Twitch when we go live, whether it's playing video games and dicking around or streaming the matches. Later today, we're going to be going to an event, so I'm going to be a tryhard today, and here comes Wing again.
I got Blurple ready.
Blurple is ready, so I'm just hoping to get top 4 personally. I don't care.
Honestly.
That
way we can get our friend 2 more copies of the Hamana.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a reasonable price. Got to keep them Gundam funds.
Yep.
But I digress. I think that's pretty much it for this session. This is going to be our first podcast. Again, sorry about the audio quality if it was too low. Hopefully our editor can boost the talking points.
our voices, and I'll look into a mic setup for dual miking and kind of go from there. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody who tuned in. This is Leo.
This is Yenmorn.
And we are outie.
If I see a light flashing, could this mean that I'm coming home? If I see a man waving, does this mean that I'm not alone? If I see a light flashing, could this mean that I'm coming home? If I see a man waving, does this mean that I'm not alone?